New York isn't just a city, it's a storyteller. Every brick, every corner, every landmark whisper tales of dreams, struggles, and untold mysteries. In this video, we uncover the hidden stories that shaped the Empire State's past and changed history forever. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and drop a comment telling us which New York secret shocked you the most. 10. City Hall. The current New York City Hall was built between 1803 and 1812. It is the oldest continuously used city hall in America. It is a blend of American Georgian and French Renaissance. Many significant events occurred here. The current building of City Hall is an early American architectural masterpiece. It serves as the administrative hub of New York City. It was constructed between 1803 and 1812. It is the United States' oldest city hall that continues to serve its original governmental function. The architecture came about after winning a competition by architect Joseph Francois Mangin and John Macomb Jr. They combined various European architectural styles. The building's past is interwoven with major national occurrences. Architectural style. The outside combines French Renaissance revival with American Georgian features. The initial plan employed marble for the front and less expensive brownstone for the rear. This is because the city did not anticipate Manhattan expanding north of the building. The rotunda. The interior has a grand, soaring rotunda with a sweeping marble staircase. This location is renowned for hosting significant state and city ceremonies. Major historical events. Abraham Lincoln's body lay in state upon the landing of the staircase in 1865 upon assassination. Over 120,000 stopped by to pay their respects. Ulysses S. Grant's body in 1885 and Fiorello LaGuardia's body in 1947 also lay in state here. Landmark status. The building was designated a National Historic Landmark in 1960. It houses the office of the New York City Mayor and the chambers of the New York City Council. Data. The exterior of the building was designated a New York City landmark in 1966. The interior received the same designation in 1976. 11. Federal Hall National Memorial. The current building is a Greek Revival building. It stands on the original site of the original Federal Hall. The original hall contained the U.S. Capitol. George Washington was inaugurated here in 1789. Location: Wall Street, Lower Manhattan. Data: the original hall was burnt down in 1812. The current building was constructed in 1842. Federal Hall is a symbol of American democracy. The current Greek Revival building was completed in 1842. It's situated on the same site as the former Federal Hall. That old building was the original capital of the United States. The place saw America's very first steps as a country. It transformed from a colonial city hall to the country's seat of government. First use. This building was initially constructed in 1703 as City Hall of New York. It was later renovated and named Federal Hall in 1788. Ratification of the Constitution. This is where the Congress of the Confederation ratified the U.S. Constitution in 1788. They also established the procedures of the new government. The inauguration. George Washington was inaugurated as the first President of the United States on April 30th, 1789. He was on the balcony of this building. There is a Washington Monument there now. The First Congress. The first Congress of the United States operated from 1789 to 1790 here. They signed the Judiciary Act and introduced the Bill of Rights. The existing building. The original Federal Hall was burned down in 1812 after the Capitol moved. The existing building served as the U.S. Custom House. It was designated as a national memorial in 1939. 12th Trinity Church. A church was consecrated on this site in 1698. The current building is the third on the site. The current Gothic Revival building was constructed in 1846. Alexander Hamilton is buried in its graveyard. Trinity Church is one of the oldest religious institutions in Manhattan. It occupies a central place in the city's spiritual and physical life. The current Gothic Revival structure is the third church on this site. It was consecrated in 1846. The church and cemetery occupy valuable real estate at the end of Wall Street. Its history is tied to early colonial grants and great national leaders. Colonial Charter. The charter for the church was granted by Queen Anne in 1697. The first church building was consecrated in 1698. Fires and rebuilding. The first church was destroyed in the Great Fire of 1776. The second, smaller building was erected in 1790. It was torn down due to structural weakness in 1839. Architecture. Richard Upjohn created the current, imposing stone structure. It is among the most significant examples of the Gothic Revival movement in America. Its spire was the tallest point in New York City until 1890. Cemetery. The churchyard is the burial site of numerous important historical figures. Alexander Hamilton, the first Secretary of the Treasury, is buried here. Robert Fulton, the inventor of the steamboat, is also buried in the grounds. Another Secretary of the Treasury, Albert Gallatin, is also buried here. 13th Dyckman Farmhouse Museum. It is the only surviving farmhouse in Manhattan. It was built around circa 1785. The house reflects New York's history as an agricultural state. The Dyckman family were lineal descendants of Dutch colonial stock. The house reflects a mixture of Dutch and English architecture. The Dyckman farmhouse is a valuable survivor of Manhattan's early farming period. It is the only existing farmhouse on Manhattan Island. The house was built by descendants of Jan Dyckman around circa 1785. The farmhouse is an essential glimpse into rural life that defined most of Manhattan prior to 19th century urbanization. It still exists today as a tiny, intact block. Family history. The Dyckman family were Dutch colonial families. They owned hundreds of acres where now stands Upper Manhattan. The family was removed off their property during the Revolutionary War. They rebuilt this building soon after the war's conclusion. Architecture. The house is built in a mixture of Dutch and English colonial architecture. The structure has a characteristic low, long profile. A unique blend of fieldstone, brick, and wooden clapboard is used in the house. A large, sloping roof covers a broad, welcoming porch. The spring house. The home boasts an original 18th century spring house. The structure was used as cold storage for provisions, utilizing the constant temperature of a running natural spring. It's a rare piece of colonial, functional architecture. Preservation. The home fell out of the hands of the Dyckman family in 1868. It faced demolition in the early 1900s due to development. Two of the descendants of the Dyckmans, sisters Mary Alice Dyckman Dean and Fanny Frederica Dyckman Welch, purchased and refurbished it. They donated it to the city of New York in 1916 as a museum. 14. Old Stone House. It is a rebuilt Dutch farmhouse. The original structure was built in 1699. A crucial Revolutionary War event took place here. It stood at the center of the 1776 Battle of Long Island. American forces fought a delaying action here. The Old Stone House in Brooklyn is a reconstruction of a 17th-century Dutch colonial home. It is significant due to its connection with the Battle of Long Island in 1776. It was the site of a very significant delaying action. The original house, built in 1699 by the Vecton family, stood on what became the center of the first big battle of the Revolutionary War. The house was exposed to heavy fighting. The battle function. American General George Washington was faced by a large British army on August 27, 1776. A regiment of fewer than 400 Maryland soldiers held the line near the house. They charged a larger British army 6 times. Their repeated assaults bought precious time. Strategic outcome. The Marylanders' sacrifice allowed the majority of Washington's army to escape encirclement and retreat across the East River to Manhattan. This saved the Continental Army from destruction. The house absorbed much of the fighting, destruction, and reconstruction. The original house fell into disrepair and was demolished in 1897. The current house is a precise reconstruction, completed in 1930, using stones from the foundation of the original building. Data. The American losses at the Battle of Long Island totaled over 1,000. The courageous stand at the Old Stone House preserved the whole force from a calamitous defeat. Castle Clinton National Monument. Castle Clinton is a circular, sandstone fortress in Battery Park. It was constructed by the U.S. Army between 1808 and 1811. Initially, it served coastal defense purposes. Since then, it has served 3 other major purposes as the needs of New York City changed. This was a circular sandstone fort built between 1808 and 1811. It was originally called the West Battery. It was built in order to protect New York Harbor. It was later a home for an opera house, an aquarium, and an immigration center. The fort was originally built on an artificial island, 200 feet from the Manhattan shore. Landfill later connected it to the mainland. It is a reminder of the way the city was changed. Original defense. Also initially referred to as the West Battery, it was part of a robust harbor defense system. 6. It was designed to repel a British sea attack. Entertainment Center. It was renamed Castle Garden in 1823. It was thrown open to the public as an entertainment center. It provided concerts, theatrical performances, and exhibitions. 11. The Marquis de Lafayette came here in 1824. Barnum gave the American premiere of opera singer Jenny Lind a welcome here in 1850. Immigration Station. During 1855, Castle Garden was the first official U.S. immigration reception center. It served this function for over 30 years. It processed over 8.5 million immigrants prior to the opening of Ellis Island in 1892. That makes it the predecessor to Ellis Island. Aquarium. The building housed the New York Aquarium from 1896 to 1941. It was one of America's most popular tourist spots. It contained over 150,000 specimens. National Monument. It was declared a national monument in 1950. It was restored to its full original early 19th century look as a military structure. It is now the primary ticket sales office for ferries to Ellis Island and the Statue of Liberty land.